everyone, I am Prateek Tokas, editor CXO Digital Pulse. In today's enterprise landscape, technology decisions don't just shape systems, they shape trust, customer experience, and sometimes financial well-being. But behind every architectural choice and transformation decision, there are a series of dilemmas. They are the unexpected risk, they are experience-based decision that goes in the mind of a leader. And all this never shows on the company dashboards. Today, IBM presents Beyond Titles, powered by CXO Digital Pulse, a series of conversation with the leaders where we will go beyond the roles and designations that they are assigned to. We will be deep diving into the experience that they had till date that they really help them to decide on the unexpected failures, on the risk assessments, and the decisions that they are making in this technology-led landscape. And for this, we have two eminent leaders with us at the studio today. Mr. KRC Murty, who is the EVP IT Business Systems at SBI Life, and Mr. Sunil Prabhu, who is the Country Manager Tech Sales at IBM India. A very warm welcome, Sunil and KRC.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Prateek.
So, KRC, as this entire conversation today would be more focusing on that how technology leaders face the dilemma of the good, bad, ugly, I would say, because there are many aspects that you need to understand and assess while making these technology-based decisions. And I really would like to have that sneak peek in your experience of these last 3 decades that you have been there in the technology industry with us. Has there been any moment when you have to actually decide between what is the right thing and what is the fast way going forward, ensuring that you are there most updated and making that choice in a way that actually makes an impact?
First of all, thank you very much for having me on this show. Really glad to be sitting with eminent leaders like you, and you have done so many shows. Happy to be here. Thank you so much. Answering your question, yes, doing the fast way and doing the right way. See, if you ask me in my career when I was young, yes, I wanted to do everything fast. You want to really prove yourself that you do many things fast and quickly and deliver and say that you are the star amongst your peers, etc. Over a period of time, it changes, right? Doing fast is good, but doing the right things at the first time when you do it, that's what matters, Sometimes when you want to do things fast, you tend to ignore few things and you take shortcuts. That's not the right thing. When you want to do the right way, you take a pause, you wait, you think, and you want to deliver it right for the first time, right? So this you develop over a period of time. You have to understand what is right and what is fast, right? So I have developed it myself, right? I have gone through it. I have looked up to leaders, mentors who actually taught me, It is not that everything I learned by myself, because I was told also, I was taught, I was mentored. So it is like, even for today's generation, what I would say is, yes, today's, the expectations are you have to be agile, do everything fast, quickly. Yes, you have to do that. But at the same time, you will have to get your basics right? And think about it, about the long-term deliverable, whether what I am doing is right, is it sustainable, is it, delivery worthy, and once I deliver it, is my trust gained by the people who have asked me. That's very important. If you have delivered the right thing, you have got the trust, I think that's where you have arrived, you keep learning, you keep improvising.
Okay. The way you have explained in such a smooth and easy manner, it really sounds easy, but I'm sure it is not that easy, and you would have your share of up and downs while making these hard choices. And as you mentioned that, making fast, it's definitely an easy way, but yeah, ensuring that it's been done correctly, it really holds a lot of importance. And with that thought, I think this is something which is the key aspect in a leadership. And while there would be some projects which would have run through smoothly, once there would be some unexpected risk or challenges that you would have come. So if you could share some experiences that where while you would have planned a very smooth journey, but there were some unexpected hiccups or maybe a very strong dilemma, and as a leader, how you have gained that kind of easiness or smoothness, the way you have answered the question over the years. How do you gain that as a leader?
See, everyone's journey is not smooth, there is always a up and down, the graph is like an ECG, right? If the graph goes up and down, then that means you're alive. That's what life is all about. It's not a smooth straight line, right? And I've gone through it in my 3 decades of experience. I've gone through it right from beginning of my career even till today. Not everything goes out smooth. You plan things, and you want everything to be delivered at time, but there are many hiccups which come right on your way. And if you ask me, if everything goes right your way, there's no fun, you're not learning. Success is great, but when you have adversity, that teaches you a lot of things. And if you are able to learn from your mistakes, your failures, your hiccups, and improvise yourself, you start delivering even better. I personally feel, those challenges are very important in everyone's life. One has to go through them, one has to overcome those challenges and learn from it. By doing that, you are evolving yourself more and you're preparing better for your deliverables going ahead as well. That teaches you a lot of life lessons, and you are able to mentor your teams. Then you have to make leaders out of your team, giving examples of all these things. If you have everything smooth, then what are you going to tell your team, your mentors, your colleagues? So it has to be a mixed balance of everything. So I have gone through it, many projects which had hiccups. I had to overcome it, but at the same time keep my deadlines on, right? Gather people's trust. You need to have your teams together. You need great teams also who have to come with you. You can't do alone anything. There's
Absolutely.
nothing called a deliverable coming from one individual. It's a teamwork. When you have great team members with you, you can turn the tables upside down and you can deliver anything. If a leader can have a great team, sky is the limit.
Well said. And I think that's where this quote comes, that it's all about the team members. If you have that kind of a team along with you, definitely sky is the limit.
And I have been blessed all my years. Trust me, it's a blessing that I have always got great teams, great team members, right from beginning of my career till now. I am still in touch with all my team members.
That's amazing. And I think this is a true, I would say, a really key essence of being a great leader, when you are in touch with your team members since the beginning till now. That's amazing. While you have talked about the team members and the journey and the ECG line that you quoted, and that's very true. Had it been a straight line, I'm sure there's no life in it. But along with it comes the risk. And I really want to understand from you, KRC, that, in these 30 years, how has the definition of risk changed for you? Specifically, we have talked about the human factor, the team members, and touchwood, you had a great team. But when we talk about the technology and the kind of graph we have seen, it has been an exponential increase in terms of changes that we have seen in the changes of this. How has the risk element changed along for you, as what you started with, your mid stages, and now as a leader?
I think it's a great question. Risk has evolved. Risk was always there, but the definition has changed. At least from my perspective, I can say when I was young, I started, fortunately, I started my career in BFSI and banking. So risk was always part of the DNA, and my work, right? Whatever I was doing, risk was put in front of it, because it's being a bank, you give utmost importance to risk management. But over the years, risk has evolved big time, from a risk perspective, where you think I will look into my aspect, whatever I am delivering, if my technology, if my systems, if my applications are having a risk, you have a boundary there. Today it has gone beyond the boundary. Today whatever you're delivering, you don't only, for example, from my organization perspective, if I am delivering a project, it's not ending only within your project. You'll have to see how is it affecting the entire ecosystem. Customer centricity comes into picture. Because of my issue, will my customer have an issue? Will my customer be going through a pain? What is the risk the entire ecosystem goes through? That has evolved big time, and every project or every single aspect you look into, risk comes in a play today, and you have to really think from different corners and put risk into the thought process first. Definitely I think it's evolved, it will keep evolving, and thanks to the regulators, especially in the financial sector. I have to give it to the regulators like RBI, SEBI, IRDA. These guys are the pillars of the ecosystem. While people or organizations may think that there are too many guardrails being put, but that is what actually is moving our ecosystem ahead. Because of them we are sustaining, and we have one of the best BFSI ecosystem in the world today, which the world looks up to. Example, the UPI and all, you see the world accepts it. So I think coming back to your question, yes, it's the best thing to have. Everyone should think 10 times on the risk factor, and it has to be a part of your DNA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while, as you mentioned that risk is definitely there, the definition may change, and I'm just curious to understand that as a leader, when you are going this entire journey along with the technology, along with various other factors, is there any specific mantra as a leader that you believe that will definitely hold true irrespective how this definition of risk changes?
You need to be human first. I will say that as a leader, you think I'm the manager, I'm leading a big team, and I have the entire ecosystem with me. You have all the right tools, you have big teams and all. As long as you're empathetic, sympathetic, and you're human in nature, you take people along with you, you understand their issues, you work closely with them. That's the biggest factor for a leader to actually be called as a leader. You cannot be just called as a leader. Mm-hmm. You have to be given the title by your teams, by your colleagues. You cannot call yourself a leader. Someone has to give it to you, and you have to be humble enough to be called as a leader, and you have to work day in, day out. There are various factors, and especially dealing with people, teams, and taking them along with you, it's absolutely not easy. Coming to your question, you have to be human first, and then put rest of your things next. Technology, your project management, your deliverables, these all will fall in place as long as you're human in nature. That's what I personally and truly believe, and I live it, and I can vouch for it.
Great. And I think in the world of technology that we live in, this emotional quotient is actually gaining a lot of aspects in prioritization, because that's the key now to get successful towards it. And Sunil, with that thought, I'll come to you. While KRC mentioned about the human factor, being empathetic, because a leader is of people. That is the key for being a good leader. While you come from the technology aspect, and I'm not saying that you're less human with that, but when you're coming from the technology platform perspective, what do you think that as leaders are evolving along with the technology, and technology is at a much more faster pace than we saw what it was a decade ago? What do you think, from your perspective, a mantra for a leader in this fast evolving technology landscape?
So I used to always think that leadership is about having all the right answers, have the best answers.
Okay.
But then over a period of time, I realized it's not that. It's about having the right questions, the strongest of questions, because that will help get you more out of what is it that is happening out there. Okay, so that's in short, that's the mantra that I would follow, saying that don't have all the answers. You can never have all the answers, but you should have the right questions and the strongest of questions,
Okay.
and that will help.
Great, and I think this is another key, because unless that curiosity is there within you, the key to ask the relevant question, and that is there imbibed in you, that surely makes a leader much more effective to take care of the risks that exist in the today's world. Absolutely amazing. KRC, while you touched upon the human factor, and I would like to just deep dive a bit more. We are seeing the next generation coming into the leadership role. With your experience, the kind of swift technological changes have happened. We are also seeing the swift human factor changes which are happening, because the thought process is changing and everything. With this new generation coming up, how is that technology-led real-life scenarios changing within the enterprises, within the corporate level?
I think again a great question. I completely believe that there's a shift from the thought process what we went through and what the current generation is going through. And live examples. I've got 2 grown-up boys in my house, and I can see and both are working, and the way they come back and they put across their issues, right? I can relate to it, and I have young generation reporting to me in my current role, previous roles. Their thought process is completely different. You cannot go with the same legacy thought process. You will have to adapt to the current generation. You will have to go with them. You have to put yourself in their shoes, and you cannot tell them that 30 years back I used to do this, I used to be like that and all. No one wants to care about it, and they are like, they want everything quick, now, deliver, leave, do it, that's it. And beyond certain point in time, they don't want to work, they want to switch off. Unlike us, even now I'm available 24/7. 2 o'clock also the call comes, I get up and do. You don't expect that, right? But at the same time, you have to nurture them to make them understand what it means to be responsible, right? You can tell them, yes, you can have your life, but at the same time, you are in a responsible position. Make them understand in their language, right? So that's very important. If you don't do that, you are like drifting away completely, and you have your team all over, and you will be running helter skelter. So my thing is, like, I sit with them, I go out with them, I mingle with them. I want to understand their thought process and be one among them. That's what it means. You can't have a barrier. No, they are juniors, I am senior. Doesn't matter. You are a part of a team, and you have to nurture them, and it's my responsibility.
How easy is to talk in their language?
It's not easy. It's absolutely not easy, but you have to keep learning. As you learn technology, you have to learn this also, and the kind of jargons they have, the kind of shortcuts they have. Sometimes I keep asking my boys at home, give me some tips.
And consider this generation gap more on a personal front, KRC. Do you think the generation gap that you felt with your seniors versus what you are experiencing with this new generation coming to as a part of your team, where was the gap more, and what's the key difference in it?
There's a huge difference. For example, when I was young, I used to look up to the leaders, managers, mentors. My father, who was a great leader, he was at a very senior position in a bank. I learned a lot of lessons from him. I used to look up to him. When you have some questions, you go up to them and ask them, you learn from them. Today's generation has got everything on their fingertips. They say, I know it all, you don't need to teach me, right? They don't want to come up to you and ask questions, right? They say, okay, you give me a challenge, I'll do it. It's okay. I don't need your help. But they don't understand that what you have on your fingertips is not what I want, right? There are things which we want you to deliver in certain fashion. That's what the organization needs, but they have their own thought process that I want to do it. That is the gap which you need to bridge. You need to make them understand, and if you are able to seed that in their mind, I think you have achieved what you want. You have to speak their language. It takes time, it's not easy, but you will have to gain their trust and say that yes, this person is there to handhold me, not dictate me. The moment you start dictating, you are drifting.
I think this dictatorship is something which is common across the generations that we see. And Sunil, I'll come to you, because while this generation is pretty much strong in terms of their own thoughts as compared to what we are right now, and I'll count everyone over here in the same one, what is your say about this future next generation leaders that will be soon taking up the decisions, the kind of complex decisions, and specifically in terms of technology, because a lot need to be identified, assessed, considered, factored, prioritized. What are your thoughts on that?
So the thing is, I'll pick up from where Sir left, and you know what, in my thing, in my thought process, it is this, that there will be lots of new technologies that will come. It will keep coming, and there will be new things that will be there. Technology is something that will keep coming. It will keep hitting us, and it will keep evolving and things like that. But something that the technology cannot do is the empathy aspect of it. Wherein you need to put that aspect of it into each of our decisions. What is the long-term impact of it? We are all thinking short-term, right? The thought process is short-term. The expected result is short-term. Instant gratification. These are some of the things which are there, but they need to have that concept about long-term and empathize with how the decisions are being taken. So that is one thing that I would really want the leaders coming ahead to think of, because everything cannot be data-driven. There has to be empathy. Empathy has to be there.
It has to be there. And when we are talking about empathy, and KRC, you have mentioned about empathy and the emotional quotient as a key aspect. Today, where we are standing, there are autonomous machines, taking, considering the data, taking those decisions, well trained on the previous historical data. You are facing your own set of challenges with these intelligent agents, the AI agents, autonomous agents. When we are talking about the future leaders, the ones who think that they know it all versus the kind of machines that they would be having, because the machines would be intelligent enough, saying that, they also know it all. How do you think these leaders will cope up? Will they turn out to be more analytical leaders, or they will be much more stronger again on the emotional aspect when they are moving forward?
It's a brilliant question. I think it's a big challenge. It's a thought. I think everyone should think about it. You should pose this question to everyone. I really like this question. Systems are becoming intelligent, over smart. They know it all. Absolutely right, and so rightly that today's tools and all the gadgets and everything we have gives you the right decisions, tells you what needs to be done, etc. But is it right, and are you doing it right, and is it fitting your expectations? Is that something, as a person, you have to put your judgment into it? You can't just go by the machines. Machines think just like machines, and they are machines. You can never put, like Sunil mentioned, right? You have to put your human aspect into it. You have to use your brain. That's what beauty of humans is, right? And once you put your experience into it and think that whatever machine has said, can I blindly trust this and put it in for my use? No, I think please don't do that. It's a biggest mistake if someone thinks that I will just go blindly what my AI tool tells me or what my model tells me to do it, that you are ending up in a disaster. And I firmly believe that if you don't put your analytical skills, if you don't put your experience, if you don't put your education, if you don't put your background into it, and the thought process, how will it behave going ahead, what kind of disaster will it get me, or what kind of instability it will get me, if you don't add your human element to it, it will not be successful. So I would say, you have to have a mix and balance of both your human aspect of it, thought process, and also use technology. Absolutely, you have to use technology. You have the best of technology available, make use of it, but do not oversee that it overtakes your thought process and your decision making skills. And as a leader also, if you stop thinking, then you are not growing yourself. That's whole point about it.
Sunil, your thoughts on this, because we have intelligent machines and we have intelligent minds.
So the thing is, when we do AI, there is this concept of being grounded. Okay, that is basically telling I know you have a lot of intelligence, you can do a lot of things, but talk to me in context of what is being talked about. Okay. Similarly, I feel, and as sir also mentioned it, from the human perspective, we need to be grounded, humility, trying to understand how it is going to affect the person on the other side. That needs to come out. And as I said previously, it cannot be just for just the data given and you just run with it. Okay, you need to know what is the effect on the other person, what is the emotional thing that those guys are going through, and then bring that in your daily interactions with those people. Okay. So that's what it is.
Great. And I think it's very clear from today's conversation of Beyond Titles that even the titles are gaining empathy from their past experience, which has been the core, the centric force of their success till date and going beyond is what they believe. Moving forward, when we are talking about technology and autonomous systems, while they are trained, while they are intelligent, the kind of co-living that we need to look with these intelligent minds along with intelligent machines is the key aspect, because while machine brings the kind of data analytical aspects, but they will be relying a lot on human aspects also, because that is where the emotional question comes into the picture, which gives the grounded factor to these machines. And with this, I would say that it's all based on the experience, the human factors, and the empathy, the past experience gain. That is the key for any leader today to move beyond and onwards in this technology landscape. Thank you so much for tuning in to this discussion today with KRC and with Sunil. We'll definitely come back with another episode with much more insightful and fun experience sharing from the industry leaders. Till then, take care and goodbye.